Hello, and welcome back to your favorite podcast,
De-influenced.
Hi, babe. What a crazy night. I didn't even see you.
Well, you went to bed at 6 p.m.
Well, I have no crazy nights anymore. I just want to say, though, before we get started with this podcast, guess what today is?
Is it a date I'm supposed to remember?
It's a huge mile marker in my journey right now. I can't believe you haven't noticed. Like, I'm offended.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Babe, I'm 12 weeks pregnant today.
Oh, you're out of first trimester.
Yes. Look at this. If you're not watching.
Wait, so is it like a light switch? Like you feel instantly better?
No, this is what's so interesting about this particular pregnancy. Oh, sorry. By the way, if you didn't see, I'm drinking coffee, which I have not been able to stand the smell or the taste or I couldn't look at coffee during my first trimester.
So are you off the matcha train now?
Yeah, the thing I like matcha, and that's something I'm going to drink at like 4 p.m. when I want like a little pick me up, but I don't want to drink a whole coffee. It only has 25 milligrams of caffeine, which is like, that's like a joke for me. That like won't even get me out of bed. A Coke has 35.
So since you've like decompressed from coffee though, if you like, do you find that it like hits you harder now or like you need less of it to function?
No, I'm just one of those people that's like numb in life and I need a lot to feel. But honestly, I have considered the fact that like that first week, my first trimester, like, you know how I was suffering. Like I was in one of the darkest places. Part of it was probably caffeine withdrawals.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I'm saying is like people who are off caffeine for long periods of time and they don't go back to it, they actually say that they have more sustained energy being completely cut out and shut off from caffeine.
Oh, see, here's the thing. Like, I just don't know what I would live for every day.
That's how I feel too.
That's my problem.
That initial like high you get from your first cup of coffee. If I didn't have that,
like what's the point?
What's the point?
What's the point? Like, I just wouldn't.
I get so much more done in that 3 hours that I'm like riding that first cup than anything else.
Like love having something to look forward to, like a drink. And I'm like, I want to feel the effects and I want to like, know I'm empowered for 2 hours. Like, let's use these 2 hours. Let's go. And then I'm going to ride it back down, take a nap.
You have a lot of crashes though.
I'm a crashy girl. That's for sure.
I mean, did you drink a cup of coffee in the afternoon?
Like, what do you mean?
When you were like not pregnant?
Oh, babe. Every
like
other hour.
3?
Oh, like all day long.
Oh, so you should stop. See, I think you should only get down to 2.
Okay.
And I think you would feel better.
Nobody's gonna tell mama how to live her life. Okay. But no, you're probably right. And
you just have such a wonderful opportunity right now to decompress from your habits.
So when you're pregnant, you can only have like a cup and a half.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not doing that now. Like, yeah. So I will be like, I usually have my like this, like I'll drink this throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm back. Mama also got a spray tan this morning. That's why she looks like this.
I saw you for the first time.
It was kind of rude. Like I know.
I questioned whether I should have said it or not. It was just
me feel very insecure.
It was just more of a factual statement. I said, "Are you getting a spray tan soon?"
No, you've asked me that like every single time that I let my spray tan wear off. Like you immediately the day after, I'm like, I'll just give it 2 days and just be my natural color. Like embrace my natural color. I'm beautiful inside and out. And then my husband comes in and he's like, you gonna get a spray tan?
It's not that you're not beautiful without a spray tan. It is just that you have to understand for the past 5 years, you've conditioned me that you go into the pool or in the shower and you scrape yourself with that little, what is that, exfoliator thing? And I know that is a signal that 2 hours later, there's going to be someone in our house spraying you completely naked with the spray tan.
Or I let myself in my bathroom first.
And so really for the past 5 years, the amount of those days that I've seen you.
Babe, you don't even know who you married. You don't even know my true colors.
No, truly.
Truly.
That's so true.
Like you don't know. You don't know that I give translucent glows with no spray tan.
It's a different person.
It's a different person.
It's a different person.
It's a scary girl. It's
not
my
scary.
biggest insecurity in life.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Can someone please invent a pill that you can take that changes, like gives you a tan?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying when I saw you, I said, oh, this is different. If you want to go all natural, I can be reconditioned to that.
Hey, you know what? I love you just the way you are. So
I know the beauty standards are not fair.
It's not fair, but who cares? Because we're feeling better. It's 12 weeks into the pregnancy. I'm still a sleepy girl. I sleep a lot. I go to bed after we put the kids down at 7:30 every night, and I sleep till 7. But the good news is I'm not taking any naps during the day.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that's probably normal. So every night I've been going to bed really early.
Yeah.
Last night I come home from the office, just a working gal. And the kids go to bed and Jordan's like, all right, peace out. Like, I'm going to a party. I'm like, what? It's a Thursday night. What party could you possibly be going to? But then I remembered it was the debates. Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's probably going to a debate party. Like,
debate party.
I don't know, like what my
Honestly,
husband does.
I did try and plan that party. It was a great debate party. We were going to, because we wanted to actually listen to the debates, we were going to have signs. One sign said, ha ha. Another sign was red flag. Another sign was green flag. So you could raise your green flag if you agreed with something. You could ha ha.
I don't think there would have been a lot of green flags, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
well, let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about where you were. What I genuinely, y'all, like in this, like, I don't know where my husband was last night.
Last night was a very, it was a purposeful night for me. Like it in a lot of ways changed the trajectory of my life. Did you know that?
No, I was sleeping. I had no clue.
So let me tell you about last night. So I went to a launch party for Preston, our friend Preston's platform called CrowdSurf. So he's doing a really interesting platform where you can like invest in creators and, if they sell their business like Dude Perfect did, then you can win from that. And so I went to support him.
Sorry, just to clarify, like I could have people invest money in me, but if I sell my business, which is my LLC, which is me.
So like, Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast like has a holding company that like holds like Beast Burgers and Feastables,
okay,
etc.
So like all their businesses?
Yeah. So it's like a holding of all of anything that they touch with their name, image, and likeness.
Okay. So like, I'm probably not big enough to be invested in.
No, I think that you could, but it would mean that like Divvy would roll into this holding company and all this stuff. So it's usually for like small.
No one's licensing Danny Austin.
Yeah. He's really focused. The reason I like going to a lot of his events is because it's a totally different space of the internet than ours.
It's like influencer, but just totally different.
Yeah. Like I walk into these events and they're like, you're old. It's like 21-year-olds.
Wow.
And they're like Twitch streamers.
They're changing the world.
So they're all like the biggest like Fortnite streamers always go to these events, and like the Call of Duty players.
And wouldn't you say that those are probably the most lucrative like industries within the influencer space, like the gaming?
I think streaming. If you're like really, really big in that space right now, like you were an OG in that space, like, yeah, you're doing very well, but the same could be said for our space
for
too.
Like beauty or
whoever was like OG in whatever space is like the one that's making the most money. I remember
like OG YouTube days. If you were a gamer, you were making tenfold what the beauty girls
So what
they
really need, a lot of these managers telling me,
tell me what you want to be. I'll be anything you want.
They need female gamers.
Sign me up.
I said,
N64?
No, don't worry. I was working it. I said, Zelda. So I said, do they have to be good at the game? They were like, no, absolutely not.
Really?
But then it's
I feel like you have to have like the boobies and like the look and like.
I will say I did ask.
I only got one of those things.
I did ask one guy, I said, do you have to like be good at the game? And he said, and I don't know if he meant to do this. I questioned this. He said, no, you just have to have a good personality.
Yeah.
And he did this with his hands. And I was like.
No, that's exactly what it is.
I don't think so though. I don't think that's what he was saying.
Babe, so you're going to watch like some guy, which is all male audience. Yeah. You're going to watch just any chick play video games. You're going to watch a hot chick play video games. Not you, like you're married,
yeah,
but
you're
like
right. You're probably right.
You know what I mean?
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I guess that's why they call them booby tubers.
Okay. I've never heard that term, but
it's true. It's an industry term.
You're proving your own point.
So anyway, I was around all of these like 21-year-old Fortnite streamers. And these are like the top Fortnite streamers in the country. And I think I've said this on the podcast. The reason they all live in Dallas, and I was wrong about this before, is all of the Fortnite servers are here in Dallas. So they get the best connection to the game if you live in the Dallas vicinity. So all of them have bought a content house in Prosper, Texas, and they live out there.
Those houses are beautiful too.
No, it's crazy. They bought and I said, well, do you like live in a neighborhood? And they were like, oh no, we like bought a house on acreage.
Yeah.
So they basically created a compound creator house, and they all just it's like 8 gamers that live out there and play Fortnite all day.
Wait, I'm feeling so much FOMO right now.
I know. They
hurts.
stream like 4 to 6 hours a day on average.
4 to 6 hours
a day.
So then when they're streaming live, because Twitch is where you stream live. That used to be Justin TV. Is that right?
I think you're right.
Okay. So, because I was, my day, during my day, it was Justin TV. I think that's what it was
I know.
called.
Don't date us because I'm still trying to be cool around these kids.
Okay. No, like you are. You're the cooler version.
They think I'm 24.
Okay.
No,
yeah.
I've just been vague.
It's all that Elemis skincare. So they're streaming live. You see them play the video game. You see their face, their reaction, everything. How are they getting paid? Like, where's the money coming in?
It's all about like concurrent streamers concurrent viewers, I think is what they call it. So like a Kai Cenat has like hundreds of thousands of concurrent streamers, like on his big one with Kevin Hart that we talked about in the last podcast,
like 700,000.
They had 700,000 consistent viewers on the stream. You know, for a lot of these Fortnite people, I think it's anywhere from like 25
that's a lot, but
to
that's
100.
not like an Instagram post could get.
But they're
bigger
loyal.
reach than
Like,
that.
okay, you know, like you and I know that someone who gets a lot of views on their TikToks, might not have a really locked in community. They just might get a lot of views from an awareness standpoint, but
people are following.
Yeah. Instagram stories. If people are following your Instagram stories, they're invested. You know, the layer deeper to that is like, what if they
DMs or something?
DMs. Yeah. Or something like that. And so there's like different layers of community. And I think that what is almost at the bottom is like live stream. So if you're watching someone live stream on a consistent basis, I think you feel like you know that person.
Once again,
really
where is the money
level.
coming in?
So they subscribe to watch.
Uh-huh.
So $5.99 or $4.99, whatever
so
they
they
charge.
subscribe.
They subscribe. So how many subs you have times $4.99 or $5.99. And then they will also donate or gift live on the stream. And usually it's a lot of
let's gift this millionaire more millions.
No, but it like works.
Yeah.
They do it for shout outs, but you have to understand the demo. It's like 12 to 14-year-old kids most likely.
They're like, Mom, can I have your credit card?
No, truly. I think that is like what is happening.
That's so
but
cool.
they're just addicted. And it would be like watching okay, think of like your favorite TV show. What's your favorite TV show right now?
Well, I've been binging Southern Charm and Summer House.
Okay. So if those are like obviously scripted TV shows, not in real time, but if it was a real time.
Excuse me. That is real reality TV right there.
So it's not in real time, but if you were able to interact with them in real time, I guarantee you would throw out a couple gifts and just be like, hey, it's me, Dani, shout me out, on the stream.
No, I wouldn't.
And so that's, so that's like kind of what it is.
Okay. So, that's cool. Where were you last night?
So, HG Supply Co. in our old neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I went with Connor Combs and, so I was talking to all of these kids. We should go out to Prosper and hang out at their content house. Number one.
That seems like my vibe.
It might not be mine either, but
I'd rather not hang out with a bunch of 18-year-old boys.
Yeah. So the most interesting thing about last night, I haven't even gotten to.
Okay.
I met my new mentee. I've never had a mentee.
Oh my gosh.
This kid
Oh my God.
is the most incredible individual that I have ever met in my entire life.
Wait, this is so sweet.
No,
how old is he, first of all?
He's 17. He's about to graduate high school.
To be honest with you, I don't even think I could talk to a 17-year-old.
No.
I would be so nervous.
He has 3 businesses.
Oh my gosh.
His parents want him to go to college and he's like, I don't know if
Where
I
does he
should.
go to school?
I don't want to say on the podcast.
Wait, just tell me. Oh, okay. Well, he goes to a nice school. He's not
Yeah. He goes to a nice school.
Okay.
I need to call Preston.
I don't want to talk to him.
No. Why? He's my mini-me.
Not Preston, the little boy.
Why? He's my mini-me.
They scare me. The 17-year-old's like,
No.
They'll be talking about use terms
No.
that I don't understand. And I'm going to feel so bad about myself. And I'd rather not. I'm really good with 3-year-old kids my own age, or kids my kid's own age.
So he was at this launch party. I need for...
Who are you calling? So nervous.
Okay. Hey, Preston.
Yo.
You're live on the podcast. Don't cuss.
Okay.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
Listen, I'm telling the story about last night, about your launch party. I've already hyped crowd surf. Okay.
Yep.
I need you, without saying his name, we'll call him Steve for a second. I need you to tell me the story of how you met Steve, who we were talking about earlier. And I need you to tell it to Dani the same way you told it to me.
Yeah. Okay. So I get followed across a number of platforms, and he DMs me. And he's like, he's got the blonde hair flips. He's younger. And
17.
He's like, hey, I'm an investor in Dallas. Would love to talk to you about CrowdSurf.
17.
And I'm like, sweet. I'm all about it. I'm thinking maybe that it's his, it's a older guy and that's his son that puts it as his profile picture or something. And so we get a coffee lined up, and it's right next door to where I work. So I was walking around, and so I ended up getting there 7 minutes before it started, because I was kind of walking right there. He's there already sitting down with a one-pager on his fund, a monogrammed pen, and a notebook. We tell our stories, and then he basically he's just like, all right, man, I'm really interested in CrowdSurf. Pulls out his binder.
He's 17.
He's got full-blown notes.
Wow.
Deep dive notes on our company. More questions I've been asked than almost anyone.
Wow.
From there, he's like, oh, I'm really interested. He invites me to his country club. He's like,
his country club?
Basically, he's like, we sit down, and he's like, hey, all right, so I'm just going to cut to it. I'm super interested. I want to invest, and, I want to invest, $20K, and I want a board seat.
Wait, my question is, how do we raise children like this?
No. Yeah, that's a great question. So I just want to put this into perspective here. Preston has been running this company for 3 years. Preston, how old are you? 28?
No, I just 30.
Oh, he's 30. So he has a 17-year-old who has walked in the room and has asked more diligence questions than an investor in Divvy. Asked him for a board seat, and Preston doesn't even have a board. Okay, keep going.
This is so good.
Tell him about how he introduced you to that other family.
Yeah. So when we walked in, he saw a family he knew. It walked up. He's like, hey, everybody. He's like, hey, meet Preston. We're looking at doing business together.
Oh, sweet baby. I love him.
We love him.
I literally love this dude. I was
wow.
just dude, I was I don't know if a board seat's the right move.
Yeah.
But whatever you need, whatever story you need to go tell, I am willing to give that to you, because I want you on the team.
Isn't it so sweet though? It's people like that you just want to help, and you just want to take them under their your wing, whether they're qualified or not. You just love them.
I know.
Oh.
I agree. And he just speaks his mind.
Yeah.
Which is I think something that's so cool, where it's just okay, he was thinking that he wanted the board seat, and so he said it.
Yeah.
And yesterday, asking you to, he's like, I want you to mentor me.
Yeah, he asked me.
Wow.
Yeah.
He asked me at the party because I was talking
Most
to him.
17-year-olds don't have that confidence.
No, he goes, man,
think about where he's going to be in 10 years.
No, in 10 years, this guy's going to be a billionaire.
Because,
I'm
100%.
Yeah.
Because one time he's going to ask and someone's going to say yes.
No, I think that I was telling Dani, your party changed the trajectory of my life, because I think that my lot in life now is to help this kid become a billionaire.
Here's my only question.
This is our guy.
He's our guy. He's the future.
Here's the only question. Can he mentor me?
Yeah, honestly, we all need help being Gen Z for sure.
Gen Z.
It's listen, I'll teach you how to do this, but you got to teach me how to be cool.
Yeah, a little delusional, but hey.
Okay, thanks for telling the story.
Definitely.
All right, bye. Dude,
That is so good.
So this kid, he comes up to me and honestly, what he was talking about is he was talking a lot about feeling really lonely because he's like, yeah, all my friends are like going out. And he's like, I feel like I'm just putting in all this work and this sacrificing. And I don't, I feel so purposeful in what I'm doing, but like, my parents think I should be doing this and my friends think I should be doing this. And I just like, had such a heart to heart moment
crying?
with him. No, honestly, almost, because I was like, hey, listen, like, you're going to make sacrifices that people will not understand for a long time, if not ever. But if you are comfortable and feel confident in what you're doing, like, just keep going. And I was like, honestly, the loneliness probably never gets easier or better. Like, I'll just be honest with you about that. And it was just like, no one had ever told him that before.
But there's also a side of me that's like, you're 17. Like, you're just a kid. Go enjoy yourself.
But he loves what he's doing, but everyone is telling him like, you shouldn't be doing this right now. But he's hired people on Upwork. He's like, he's got 3 different businesses he's trying to run. He did that story with Preston. But at the end of the conversation, he very sincerely like got quiet for a second. I was like, hey man, well, I'm going to go. And he was like, hey, like, I just want to ask you, like, I've been, really looking for like a mentor. And he was like, can I give you my card and like us keep in touch and you mentor me? And I was like, I would love to mentor you.
Wow, that's really sweet.
No, it really is. And I was like, last night I walked inside and I was talking to Connor Combs about this story in the car ride on the way home. And I was like, I got to have this kid on the podcast. We have nothing to talk about tomorrow. I was like, I should bring him on the podcast. And then I was like, oh, wait. No, I need to get like his parents' consent
he's
to
17.
put him on the podcast. And so I literally like called this kid and I was like, hey, like would love to have you on the podcast tomorrow, but like, I'm going to need like written consent from your parents. And he was like, yeah, this is hard because, and like kind of got weird about it. And I was like, why are you being so weird? And he was like, well, I didn't tell my parents that I was going to the crowd surf launch party last night. And he was like, I just don't know how I'll say I met you. And I was like, okay.
Let's not. Maybe when he turns 18.
Yeah. When he turns 18, I'll be officially be your mentor. But
does he know where he's going to school? He's probably too young he's junior probably. So.
Well, I mean, this is like, he's like kind of against college. He's like, I'm going to do this on my own.
Oh gosh.
We really bonded over that. I was like, listen, my daughter's 2. I was like, she ain't going to college
yes,
either.
she is. She's going to college. Okay.
I was like, it's obsolete, man. I was like, only if you get into Stanford does it matter.
Oh my gosh. That is wild.
No.
Because I just think about what I was doing when I was 17. Okay. I'm laying in a tanning bed at Palm Beach. I'm going out with my friends. I'm going to track practice.
The little sticker.
I'm getting a little sticker, the heart sticker. Yeah. 17 was the best year of my life though, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you turned out great, but like, honestly, I was doing what he was doing at 17. I feel like I turned out all right too.
Yeah. But you have like a little bit of FOMO with your life. Like you're always like, oh, the party or like the cool kid.
But I feel like I'm creating that for myself now.
I don't know. I just feel like there's something so special about being a teenager and I'm just like, live it up. You have your whole life to figure it out. Well, like, why rush into it?
We clearly have differing views on how we're going to mentor this kid. So.
No, I mean, if that's what he wants, that's great.
Yeah. But the last thing I'll say on this topic is, as like Divvy's become this like huge machine and like you have your team now, it was like a really cool moment for me to be like, oh, I can get really passionate about mentoring this kid and helping this kid.
Yeah.
It was very exciting for me. Like I felt I was like, oh, I need to tell him this. I need to introduce him to this person. Like it was like,
I don't think that
me.
You realized like when I met you, you were that kid.
No,
you
that's
like
why
would go like Jordan. He was only like probably 50 pounds heavier. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh my gosh, babe, I love you. But like looking back,
parties.
we were both so dorky. And like we would go to these parties in Austin at like whether they were for magazines or media or whatever. And Jordan would walk up to like the CEO in the room and be like, hey, I'm Jordan Ramirez. Like that, and like would just like you always put yourself out there like that.
No, and he's honestly he's better at his age than I was.
Yeah, it's okay. He goes to a nice school. Probably helps.
Little mini me. Also, what Preston left out of that story is the country club that he was like, come to my country club. It was DCC.
Yeah,
literally
yeah. That's
the nicest, most exclusive country club in the city of Dallas.
Right. Like I've never stepped foot in there. Like, Yeah.
I have once. It is a palace.
I know. I've always wanted to. I've looked at pictures.
It's the most insane place.
I don't have any friends that are members.
They don't even let you put your phone on the table.
Really?
It's the most
I've never been to a place like that.
This grand fireplace. Yeah, you would. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy place.
I hear it. Isn't it like over $100,000 a year?
I don't even think you can buy your way in anymore.
No.
It's like, it is like
you have
old
to
Dallas.
it's like old
guard.
It's Dallas at
Crazy.
its traditional finest.
Anyway.
Well, so you went to that party, you acquired a mentee named Steve, changed your life, and then you came home.
You were asleep.
Can I ask you something really fast though? Yeah. Just I don't want to go like too far off the cuff here, but when I'm sleeping and you come into the room and you don't plan on going to bed just yet, or maybe you do, are you trying to wake me up like angrily? Like, are you secretly resentful towards me and you're like, I'm going to click this like light switch so loud that she wakes up, or like I'm going to yank, like not just like pull the blankets back, like I'm going to yank the sheets so that she wakes up, because I feel the anger when you do walk into the room and it's so obnoxious and it's so unnecessary. And you've been doing it every single night, but I've been going to bed at 7:30. So I like, don't feel like I have like room to say anything. Cause I'm like, I am going to bed
I would
early.
say two things on this topic. Have you ever been like about to fall asleep and everything seems louder than it is? Like it's like,
it is loud.
It's probably a scientific fact. It does happen. Like when you're about to fall asleep, any like sensorial thing that's in
No, I'm not about to fall asleep. I am asleep.
Right.
But then I'm not, because you click things so loud.
No, see, that's what I'm saying.
And then you also turn lights on for no reason.
I don't know how to put into words what I'm saying, but I'm right.
Do you know what you did last night? Now I remember. You got into bed and literally you had the flashlight on your phone. And like, it's literally, you're pointing it at me like this. Like you're trying to wake me up. Like I know it. I saw it. I swear on my life. Like you were like this.
That did happen. I was looking for my iPad.
You're pointing it in my face.
I thought that you were like sleeping on it. And I put my light on.
He's literally like this on me. Like, I'm like, this is so evil. Like, this is like, there's no reason you need to be doing this. Like, he's obviously angry at me, but he doesn't want to say something.
I'm not. I feel no anger. I think the second thing I will say.
I feel your anger.
No, I think the second thing I will say, other than like, you're more sensitive to sounds when you're being woken up from sleep. Like everything seems louder than it actually is. The second thing I will say is that I genuinely am trying to be considerate. I just assume that you're like,
I think you should try harder.
Such in a deep sleep that there's nothing that I can do that will affect you. It's kind of like when you say, I'm like, can I watch TV while you go to sleep? And you're like, okay, fine, but please turn it down. Every night I turn it down to 5, but then once you're asleep, I turn it back up to 15 because you don't wake up. So I'm just like, okay,
I'm
well, I'll just get over
that, like, I do feel like there's some underground resentment, and I think it comes out at night in those small actions. But okay, I believe you.
It's great to have you back after your first trimester. I feel like we used your first trimester. I feel like I was extremely productive while letting you just
I've never seen you lose so many games of Settlers of Catan.
No, I know.
Before.
I'm a level 21 now. That was very productive.
Congratulations.
Went through a huge thing at Divvy that maybe we'll talk about later.
Your tan is looking great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very me time.
Yes, it was. It was.
It was like, it was a you time and it was a me time.
Yeah, I'm really happy for you.
And now we'll recalibrate. Like I'm past the Divvy stuff. Today's my last day. That's why I'm dressed like this.
Okay.
We're past the Divvy stuff. You're feeling better. We're going to recalibrate and Vail.
Yes,
we're back.
Yes.
We can go to bed at the same time again. Have you felt distant from me in this first trimester?
No, just when you're waking up in the middle of my sleep.
Really? No, truly though. That's the only time you felt distant?
100%. But it wears on me like the whole next day. But like you said, well, we recalibrate in Vail. It's going to be a great time. We're going to Vail for the next 7 days. Yeah. And then we come back briefly for like a night. And then Jordan and I fly to New York for Divvy meetings. And so today, after this podcast, I'm having to pack for 2 different trips, which is stressful.
Oh, because you won't have time to repack on.
Yeah, so I'm packing for New York as well.
I'm glad you're not having to pack for 2 trips during your first trimester, because that would have been a nightmare.
No, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm scared of you outside of pregnancy when you're on pack days.
Yeah.
I just stay out of your way.
Yeah.
Generally try and be out of the house. Because Is it stressful?
It is stressful.
Very stressful.
So that will be the rest of my day today. So just know this is the last time you will be speaking with me.
I know. I'll be upstairs.
If you need anything, let me know now.
Do we have plans tonight or no?
Babe, I'm packing.
Okay, you tried to make plans. You were like, let's go take our friends to Park House or something.
Well, okay. I want to talk about that. The one thing I am feeling very bad about myself lately, well, there's a lot of things, but let's talk about.
She like rolls out the paper, the list.
And the list like rolls down to the ground. I sent a text to my friend group yesterday, 2 days ago. Should I read it? No, deep.
Well, I think you should read it. People should know who you are as a person.
Okay. Me and you, we're just normal. Okay. Let's see. It's actually, I tried not to make it that deep because I was like, ugh.
It's
like
so
sending
funny
like a deep cringy message like in the middle of the day to a group text is like kind of one of the worst things.
It's so funny because you're like thinking this is really deep. Your version of deep and my version of deep are so different. Like my version's probably like this like paragraph of like, you know, poems, and Denise is like, hey guys, just wanted to say I love you. Sorry, this is so deep.
Like, no. Yeah. Like I was trying, like, it was like one of those things, like I was in a parking lot, like writing it and I was like, no, like delete. Too much. Like keep it lighthearted.
How many times did you redraft?
Probably just 3.
That's not bad.
It wasn't, yeah. Cause like I hate putting heaviness on people, especially in the middle of the day in a group text. Like there's nothing cringier, in my opinion.
Really? See, I would never draw that conclusion.
I just feel like it's like then a group text, it's like everybody sees your reply. So it's like, you know, obviously, sorry, it's an insecure thing. It's a me thing. I don't like when I don't care if people do it to me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like, I hate to make people feel like in the middle of the day if they have to reply to me.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Hi, friends. I just wanted to apologize for the last month or so. I've been really absent and not so responsive and just overall not a very good friend. This pregnancy kind of put me in a dark place, not at all because of the baby, more just the hormones affecting my depression and motivation. I think I tend to pull away when I'm struggling, but because it's a little embarrassing. But anyway, I've started to feel so much better physically and just wanted to apologize for not being the greatest friend.
Wouldn't it be awful
if no one replied?
No one replied.
I know. Well, it did take a little bit. Actually, Shauna replied pretty immediately.
Okay. I mean, did it get like, here's what also would be hard for me in that situation is that they didn't reply via text. They just like hearted it or something.
There were a couple of hearts.
That's
it's okay.
tough.
That didn't bother me.
Listen, whoever just hearted it, that's who you need to circle back with. Probably call one-on-one. Because no. Because that's a signal to you like, hey, I'm acknowledging what you said, but I'm feeling this and like, I need more from you. That's what they're saying.
Okay. I'm not going to read that much into it because I won't be able to sleep for the next week. So I'm just going to ignore and forget the fact that I ever sent that. People replied. They were really nice. They were understanding because they also gone through pregnancies. Yeah. And then I said, love y'all. Like, and then I was like, oh, phew, we got that.
Reply to that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. No, it was all good. It's all good.
Okay.
It's
sure.
all good. Like you're making this a bigger deal than it is.
No, I'm just helping you.
Anyway, my point with that was I was feeling like I haven't been a good friend. So I was really trying to fit in a friend hangout before we left, which Friday really was the only time to do it. And so I was like, Dani, like, yes, you have to pack, but like, you also really need to be a better friend.
Yeah.
And so I was like, in that struggle. And I was like, but then Janelle could only hang out at 8 p.m. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, I love you, but it's not happening.
All the guys texting were like, hey, are we going to Park House at 8? And I said, honestly, Dani won't make it to 8. I was like, she
hasn't stayed up past 8:45 in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I was trying to go out tonight.
It's so funny because I feel like in our friend group, and I don't know if this is relatable in any way, but it feels like when the girls are really strong, the guys are distant. And when the guys are really strong and thriving, the girls are distant.
I don't know.
Sorry, that might just be us. Like, I feel like it's like whenever, because I feel like me and the guys, we're thriving right now.
Yeah. No, I think it's just like when you're healthy with your friends, I'm unhealthy.
That's right.
I don't think it's a reflection on the whole group.
But sometimes you got to divide and conquer.
Well, and it's like, yeah, because you've probably been lonely. You've been needing friends more.
Well, I'm like, okay, like She'll be asleep by 5. You guys want to hang?
The one thing I will say about my friends, and then I do want to move on from this conversation, is
I don't know. Let's go deeper. What do you
no,
say?
let's not. I have friends that give a lot of grace. Like they don't, whenever I'm a bad friend, they don't like hold it over my head and get upset. And I feel like we don't do that to each other. We're very like understanding of each other and like go like the ebbs and flows. We don't take things too personally.
Yeah.
I think we're just all very mature.
Do you think that got easier, that type of culture got easier as we all had kids? Because I feel like it's like a kid's thing.
I think as we just all got older, yeah.
See, I think it's a kid's thing. I think after you have kids, it's like the things that were like big boulders before are now just small. Like nothing's taken personally. Like I don't take anything personally, but maybe I'm oblivious.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the problem.
That's a good point. It's possible.
Let's talk about politics.
Yeah, I do want to know. So you came home and then, sorry, we've taken 36 minutes to get through
Honestly, that's
your evening.
Yeah.
So you came home from the party and then what happened after you angrily woke me up?
Well, I will admit, last thing on this topic, maybe I was subconsciously a little angry last night because I really wanted you to watch the debates with me. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to watch them with someone. It was like,
who did you watch them with?
It's like WrestleMania. It's like, I wanted someone to experience this, just like this whole thing.
Who did you watch them with?
Stella.
He got Stella out of bed to watch the debates.
You know, and she didn't watch 1 second of the debates with me. She just got a bunch of chocolate out of me and puffs and then
so
played with her toys.
How are the debates? Because I woke up this morning and I also felt guilty for not watching the debates. And I'm like, can't these people like run this thing at 6 p.m.? Like,
you're like, I'm a terrible
horrible friend. I'm a horrible American. I'm like, gosh, what can't I do right? I haven't even packed yet. And I'm pale. My husband thinks I'm ugly. Okay. So yeah, so I watched some recaps of, I love to follow the Instagram account Smart Her News. It's like smart and then HER news. And she's like nonpartisan. She just kind of recaps it how it is, but she's like a girl. She's she's cool. Like she gets it. And so I love to watch her recaps. I watched like the ending statements, and then I watched the whole thing about the golf situation. I watched just like little snippets. And it just, from my perspective, it seemed like Biden had a really rough night. I feel like he has mainly rough nights, but honestly, I like genuinely.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Number one, it felt just ugly. Like it felt mean, but it always is, you know, Trump's there. It's going to feel ugly. Mm-hmm. But I genuinely from my soul was like, someone please, like, don't force Biden to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, please, like, he needs to be like chilling with his family, relaxing. Like, I don't feel like he has people around him taking care of him.
He went to Waffle House after.
But you know what I mean? Just like, and not taking care
Probably
of him like that.
Slam.
Like, I just was like, this poor man, like he just, right now, this is not what he should be doing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
That's really interesting. Cause I would say that like, I'm very interested in your take because you didn't watch the whole thing. So that's what the clips are telling you.
From the clips that I saw of him speaking, it was just really hard for me to understand what he was saying.
Yeah.
And just the look on his face, like in his eyes, like it made me sad. Like I genuinely felt sad. And I was trying to understand what he was talking about too. Cause I'm like, you know me, like I actually really do like want to go into these things and be like, oh, well, he has a point. And then like, oh, Trump, yeah, he has a point. And so I was really trying to get in his head about where he was coming from. And there were very few times I was able to get there.
And follow what he was saying.
Was saying, or feel like what he was saying was really relevant.
Yeah, I don't think that's that different from someone who watched the whole thing. I will say it was more tame than I expected it to be. Like I thought it was going to be like gloves off, like we're all going to be laughing, making jokes. But I think that Trump went in a lot more presidential than he was in last debates, right? Mm-hmm. So he definitely threw some blows. I mean, you saw the whole golf thing, like that was just so stupid. It's really funny. It's created some amazing memes.
You can either like piss you off or you just have to laugh at it.
It was pretty, honestly, I was laughing. I was like, this is crazy. They're literally talking about their golf game.
I was like, can we settle this over a game of golf?
Well, so like professional golfers are now getting involved in like tweeting and are like, okay, this is how we settle this. Like Augusta National, like this time, this place.
Oh my my gosh.
So yeah, it's been really good for internet culture, but it was less good for internet culture than I thought it was going to be. I thought that we were going to come out with like a ton of memes, like a ton of moments, and there just like wasn't that many.
The one thing
moments.
I will say, like, and I do feel like if you supported Trump like 4 years ago, like you would be demolished, you would be canceled, and now I think that people that like support Trump, it's like, yeah, because Biden doesn't seem like he's like qualified to be in that position. I don't think that people are going to like torture you for factual. That now. Like
so much of like the last election will go down in history of like, if you were any type of public figure during that time and you even mentioned the word Trump, like you would have been demolished. Like, who is that that sleep trainer?
Taking care of babies.
Taking care of babies made like a $100 donation to the Trump campaign. Yeah. And like they tried to take down a baby sleep trainer.
Yeah, she's like the sweetest person ever.
Like it was crazy. And honestly, she handled it like from a PR perspective pretty well. But like it's just crazy, the climate. Now you have like billionaires coming out and saying like Trump's going to win. Like you have celebrities coming out and saying I'm not voting for Biden. And I think that what I'm just trying to understand from last election to this election is like how the culture has shifted so much to now being like, like we voted this guy into office and like, oops, like, and I'm not saying I endorse Trump. I'm just saying like, I don't understand how we can now have civil conversations about like, oh, there's two people up here that we should all kind of like dissect and disagree with, collectively versus it just being so one-sided.
What were the topics they covered the most? Like the border?
Yeah, the border.
Abortion?
They talked about abortion for like one larger question. Yeah.
Taxes, probably.
No, I don't feel like they covered that much.
Really?
No.
I think that's always a big thing.
It was a lot of like immigration. Like I feel like crime, foreign policy. Like they talked about like Ukraine and Israel a lot. Like Trump's views of NATO versus Biden's. So just like, I think like our responsibility on the world stage, there's like a differing opinion clearly. Like, I think that there's like Biden's camp is like, we're here to create world peace by policing the rest of like Europe and like all these other regions. Whereas I think Trump I think he said this like quite a bit. He was like, we have an ocean separating us and we're funneling billions of dollars. They're not matching the dollars.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like I think a lot of Americans are just are probably feeling more so what Trump is feeling, which is like inflation's really high. It's like childcare costs are really high. We need to take care of like home before we can take care of other places. Right. And I don't feel like that message came through
that's
from
probably
Biden's
like,
camp at all.
I feel like that's even what you're supposed to do with like, like you should take care of your family first and then your neighborhood and then your community, because if you're not healthy within your marriage and then your kids,
it all collapses. If you like prioritize wrong, it all collapses. So I feel like that's like basic leadership 101, but I guess when you are running an entire government, maybe not.
More challenging. I guess.
The other thing I would say is interesting about the debates is, so it was a CNN debate, and I think this is not a secret. This is not a political statement. I think it's very clear which way CNN has leaned in the past, right?
Support for de-influence comes from Seed. Y'all know I love Inspired by Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. The daily supplement benefits your gut, skin, and heart health. Seed's DS-01 was developed in collaboration with Seed's scientific board and based on their foundational work in probiotics in the microbiome. With new clinical trials and breakthrough research published in top scientific journals, Seed's probiotic research, development, and innovation programs make DS-01 a product you can trust. It's also like my mom is so obsessed with Seed.
She talks about it.
Do you remember
every
like
other day.
when I wasn't taking it, she would call me every single day. It was so annoying. But now I take it, so I'm like, okay, leave me alone. Seed is great for those looking to support and maintain their gut health. Trust your gut with Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic. Go to seed.com/dinfluence and use code 25dinfluence to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Synbiotic at seed.com/dinfluence, code 25dinfluence. I want to touch on that because I was reading that this was the first year they've always had a commission of presidential debates, and it's nonpartisan. That's why whenever you watch the presidential debate, it's always like neutral in the background. And then it's like, they're supposed to give people fair time. And it's like, but this was like one of the first years since 1988. I remember because it was the year my
Very
brother
good.
was born. It was like sponsored by CNN because the Biden Harris campaign like wrote in and were like, we're not going to be a part of the commission this year. So now you have a CNN sponsored debate, which I don't understand why they wouldn't want to be a part of like a fair commission of debates.
So I didn't know any of that. And that's really interesting information because if you watched it, like I was expecting, so if the Biden Harris campaign wrote in and were like, we're only going to do CNN, my expectation going
No, they didn't
into
say they'd only do CNN. They said they'd each sponsor their own. So like Biden did the CNN, like he was like on board with the CNN one. And I guess there's going to be another one.
Okay.
That's like maybe going to be Fox or something. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But it was like maybe they felt like they needed to do that so that he felt like CNN had more, I don't know, had more control over the narrative
So that
for
was
one of the debates.
So let me just tell you this. That was my expectation going in, is it was going to be slanted towards one way. Maybe they would have like run air cover. There were commercial breaks. I think that was like the first time in history there's been commercial breaks for a presidential debate. And so it was
because
like,
it was covered by the media.
Well, it was like maybe he needed breaks in between. So maybe that was part of it. So I was expecting for this to be slanted in one way. But what was shocking about it was I felt like it was actually a pretty like neutral and unbiased debate. Like they gave Trump time, they gave Biden time. But what was most fascinating is like when you get off air, so after the debate, you have all the CNN anchors and I'm like, man, they're just going to run air cover and protect this guy. And unanimously, like every anchor was like, this was a failure on Biden's part. Like
really?
It sent the whole Democratic Party into a frenzy to where I think the conspiracy now side of it is like, man, was this pre-planned knowing that they're going to start this narrative of replacing Biden? Like if Biden runs the whole way through,
that is
there's
such a
just
good point.
I cannot see how he would win. So a lot of people think that like they agreed to this. They had the narrative prepped. They knew he was going to bomb. Then they perpetuated the narrative, man, he bombed, like we love Biden, but he's got to get out. And so it allows for them to, in the next 44 days, I think it is, to replace him. I think that's like the timeline that they would have to replace him in.
Oh man, it's just so maniacal, these things.
But the reason I think that like that's not that conspiracy is, and I've said this before, I think that the DNC are the most like crazy genius level people when it comes
100%.
to media, when it comes to narrative manipulation, when it comes to like PR. Like they are absolute wizards at concocting and constructing public opinion that I just can't understand how they would just roll over when the right and the left are united on like, this guy seems really old and should not be president.
Right.
It's really hard for me to believe.
Yeah, that they would just allow that narrative to be exposed.
Yeah, they would just give away 4 years.
They have to have a backup plan.
They have to have a backup plan. Who do you think the backup plan is?
Wait, I have literally no idea.
I think it's Newsom.
Okay.
People think it's Michelle Obama, but I don't think it'll be Michelle Obama.
Oh my gosh.
That would be really hard.
That would be crazy.
That would be a competitive campaign right there. Like you would have the first female like president. She's very poised.
Yeah.
She's got a pretty good media reputation.
I'm living in a movie right now.
No, it's a movie.
It's so crazy.
I think enough people, like I
think people hate Trump, but a lot of people like his policies.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think that's just
I don't know anymore.
Every time I look at Instagram, like this is where I'm getting all my information. People are like voting on either nonpartisan or even some like liberal channels. And they're like, who do you think is going to win? It's like 70% Trump. And everybody's like, hate him, but like.
I feel that too, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's definitely leaning towards Trump's camp. But if they put in Michelle Obama and I don't know, I feel like Gavin Newsom is really hated, but like he's the governor of California. And honestly, I will say this, that guy's got, and I'm going to say this Gen Z term, that guy has Riz.
Stop, like, I can't right now.
No, dude, that guy is the most like, I mean, I don't think he's a great guy. I'm going to be clear.
Well, none of them are, babe.
But he is a politician, man. Like he has got some charisma to him. And so I think if that guy got on stage, he would be able to really. You kind of look like him a
little bit.
Well, don't say that. I mean, it's just I'm dressed like this.
It's just Yeah, the hair.
Don't paint me as that.
This is what it'll look like in like.
He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's for his age.
Yeah, for his age, he's a good looking guy. He's got Riz. That's what I'm saying. So if he goes up against Trump, I think the next debate will be very confusing because I'm like, I think I'm supposed to hate this guy, but like, he seems kind of cool, like on the stage. Like
you look like me. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna vote for him.
I'm like, cool hair. I don't know.
He kind of looks like Jordan. Like it looks like you in like, I don't know, 20 years. Does it not?
Yeah.
Wow, babe. Well, that's my future.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting time, but it's funny. It's great that we can all talk about this. I feel like last election,
I don't like either one of them.
There you go. That's. I feel like that's the new cop out. They're like, I just win by saying I don't like anyone.
No, they're both horrible. We're screwed either way.
A lot of people. Did you hear what RFK did?
He hosted his own.
I love it. That's a good, pretty genius move right there.
I didn't get to watch any of his.
I know. That's the problem is I don't think people watched it. But
yeah, he should have hosted it like tonight.
I know. If it was a day later, I'd probably watch his version.
Or he should have done like a pregame. Huh. Well, you know, politics. It's exactly why people follow us.
I know.
They want to know exactly what we think.
That's the craziest thing is I was like scrolling. I just wanted to see after debate night. So I was scrolling through your DMs and I was trying to look for those like messages that were like, you know, those crazy messages where people start being like
I'm unfollowing you.
I would love for you to speak up about the current state of our nation. I'm like, really? You want to hear from Dani Austin, a fashion influencer?
I'm like, yeah, I hate his tie.
Yeah. Like you want her view of foreign relations and all these other things.
I do have opinions. I'm just not going to share them with y'all.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like the group think and the pressure politics of like, speak up. I'm like, you don't want to hear from
You don't want to hear from me. You're just angry.
You're just angry.
And you need someone to blame.
The moral police of who should speak up. Why don't you go speak up? You go to a bar and talk about it.
Honestly, though, I like, don't you always just like wonder like who people are voting for?
Totally.
Like okay, like she like presents like this, but like she totally voted
especially
like this.
When I'm in New York, I'm always like,
I'm like, no,
you guys.
Yeah, like I'm like,
you want me to think that you're voting this way?
You think you're this?
But you've said a couple things about firearms that I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, we read right through.
I don't know. It seems like you might have a ranch somewhere in Santa Fe where you might have a couple firearms.
I always just like wonder, but you know, I don't judge people by their politics.
Yeah. I mean, especially like, let's just all chill for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. So should we start the podcast?
Yeah. 52 minutes in.
Oh, did you see what came out? I feel like I'm getting like so much street cred right now.
For what?
They listed the MLB Celebrity All-Star Game players.
Oh, no way. Who's on it?
Yeah. Terrell Owens.
Love him.
Matt James, The Bachelor.
Okay.
Camille Kostick, married to Gronk.
Good.
So, yes.
So Gronk will be there.
Yeah, and she's also like the hottest person that ever lived. So I'm really hoping we can buddy up.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
You know, I feel like we would vibe, like not by our physical looks, but just like we would.
I think you're gonna get along with everyone there.
Thank you, babe.
Thank you, babe.
Let's see. A lot of other like professional athletes. It skews male.
Okay.
For sure. I'm feeling 70% male, 30% female type of vibes.
Like they're going to be pitching to you?
No, like the team that like everyone that's on the list, the roster thus far.
Okay. So
we're going to be put on separate teams playing each other. Dude Perfect guys.
Okay.
They probably know how to hit a baseball for sure. Yeah. Gina Rodriguez, she was in that show, Jane the Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
So but like she looks like she could also hit a softball.
Is this 9 innings? Like you're going to play 9 innings of softball?
I have no idea. No clue.
Do your teammates know that you are pregnant?
No.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell them I had a big lunch. It's a plan.
Carbo loaded.
Because I don't want people to like not play fairly. You know?
Yeah.
Don't treat me different because I'm like, hey, Serena Williams played pregnant in some of her fights. So like,
true.
I can do it. Okay.
Don't make me make a discrimination case out of this.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
If Serena can do it. No.
We'll take the MLB down.
Yeah. So let's see who else. What are there? There's like a couple of, there's like a famous I think her name might be Alex or something. She's a famous like softball player. Like she's like, I should buddy up with her. Maybe she could teach me a few things.
You really should buddy up with her.
So I ordered some gloves, a baseball bat, some softballs. I'm going to take them to Colorado and I better practice.
When is this again?
Because let me tell you something. I am so scared of the ball. It is something that I haven't, like, yes, I've been sleeping, but there are random hours I wake up and I am sweating. Like I am so scared.
Are there tickets available to this game? I got to get all of our friends there.
Yeah. It's like a big deal.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, okay, so this is what I'm saying. Everybody's husbands are seeing the post and then sending it to their wives. And then the wives are sending it to me. Like screenshots of their husband being like, your girl is like, cause MLB put me on like the front page of the roster. Like I'm like the main girl with this other guy that has like 15 million followers. I don't know. He's like a musician or something.
Kane Brown?
Camille Kostick. Oh, and Kane Brown. Kane Brown's on there. He's like in the middle. Wild. And then there's just me. And then everybody in the comments of the MLB post on Instagram is like, who are these people? I'm like, hi, it's me. Hi.
I'm here to redeem my childhood fears.
Yeah. So that though, I do feel like is giving me some major street cred. I'm just so scared though.
I think you'll do great.
Yeah.
And if not, I mean, just know that
it's on the inside that counts.
Yeah.
And as long as I have a spray tan, my husband loves me.
And your daughter and son will be there at the game.
Yeah.
Your husband supporting you, rooting you on.
Like, mommy's a baseball player. I want to talk about, let's go into the podcast. Let's go into the show. We have a fabulous show today. It's going to last about 20 minutes. Let's get started. I want to start with a viral spiral.
Okay.
Did you see that Travis Kelce made an appearance at Taylor Swift's show and Jen Reed was there?
No, I didn't know she was there.
She would.
That's crazy.
This girl, Jen Reed, I swear that she had like an in.
Yeah.
Like she knew Travis was
She's kind of been popping up. Like didn't she sit courtside behind Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
Like she's kind of like now becoming that like, who is this person?
Yeah, she's kind of like a socialite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, she was at the show. I would have given my left arm and I would have skipped the MLB softball game to be at this show. Just kidding, MLB. I love you. But yeah, it's just so crazy that they are now, I feel like Travis is like not so serious as her other boyfriends. And he's like, who cares? Like, I like you. Like, who cares if people know? And so they're just like flaunting their love. And I think all of us Swifties love it.
Yeah. Y'all are eating it up for sure.
Oh my gosh. It's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, my mentee. Sorry to interrupt this. My mentee.
Big Taylor Swift fan?
No, but what he does, one of his other businesses, he resells tickets and he was the one who bought up all of the tickets in Dallas to only flip them. And he was like, yeah, I don't tell females that. I was like, my wife would kill you.
Wait, so he bought all the tickets at the Taylor Swift concert?
And at the Dallas show, I think he did it in multiple cities, but he would go and buy up a ton of them and then resell them.
No, I don't get angry at that. I think that's so smart and savvy.
Okay. Well,
it's just like capitalism.
A mentee.
That's genius. I'm like, I'm going to do
genius.
that.
I'm telling you, he's a genius.
Yeah, so that was amazing. Another thing I have been binging, when you asked me what my favorite TV show was, I wouldn't say this is my favorite, but I've been enamored with the DCC, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders Netflix show.
I know. Can you like explain it to me like I've never seen it before? Because I don't understand what's the lure about it.
Yes. So the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders, and you probably don't even know this, but like they are like the cream of the crop. Like everyone wants to be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. It really started in like the 70s. Like they are like the team to be on. It's like America's sweethearts. Like it's just like the biggest honor, you know, because it's America's team. Everybody loves the Cowboys.
Okay.
And so what the organization has done with the cheerleaders, like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, is like they have built it to something that like really runs itself. Like it is successful even without the Cowboys being successful. They have Barbie dolls. They had a show on CMT called Making the Team. Like they really like built this brand like outside of the Cowboys. And they're just famous. Like it's a big deal to be a Cowboys cheerleader.
Was this vision for the cheerleading empire? Was this Jerry Jones's vision, or was this?
Yes, it was like, it was his daughter, or Charlotte.
Okay, is that his daughter?
Yeah, I think it's his daughter. Charlotte Jones had like a big part in it. Yes.
Okay, so she was kind of the architect of this prestige.
Yes.
Okay.
And so her and her team.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, it's a really cool thing. So now it's very competitive. You have to have like this special it factor that like, even if you're a good dancer, it doesn't matter. Like you have to be beautiful. You have to be a certain size. You have to be able to kick a certain way. You have to be able to like, they kind of have like their own style of dance too. So even if you did jazz, lyrical, hip hop, like doesn't matter. Like you have to fit this formula that is actually like very, very niche. And on top of that, like you just have to be beautiful. You have to like be everything. And so that's why the show is so interesting, because they're so critical on these girls. And these
Which is
girls
very like not a,
they'll
it's
be
like
like
not okay in this climate, right?
but they don't care. Like they're like, yeah, we really need you to tighten up that belly. So then these girls will become anorexic because they're like, okay, the only way I can, like, I'm eating so healthy, I'm doing all this, I'm still not good enough. And then they establish eating disorders. And then they have like, all these mental health problems, depression, whatever it is, because they're just like never good enough. The hardest part about it too is not only it's extremely competitive, but these girls are only making, I believe, $500 per game. And they are, practicing for hours each week. They have to like all move to Dallas. It's not a very cheap city to live in. Mm-hmm. They all have to work like full-time jobs. Like some of them are nurses, doctors, realtors, whatever it is, because they can't afford to just live off the $500. They're also doing like pretty crazy moves that are very strenuous on their body. So a lot of them need like PT or surgeries or whatever it is. And like, they barely are making enough money to cover their rent because they're only making $500 a game. What was really hard for me to watch in one of the episodes, you have Charlotte Jones, who is a billionaire, the daughter of Jerry Jones. And she's fabulous. Like I really do love and respect her, but it was just like, wasn't the best look in my opinion. Like I feel like her PR manager like sort of said something, because you have her explaining to the audience like why these girls don't make a lot of money each game. And it's like, dude, like you're a billionaire. Like these girls should be making more than $500 a game. And I understand that it's kind of like when people used to like being like a flight attendant was like the biggest deal in the world because it was just so honorable. And if you were a flight attendant, then you got to meet the pilots, you got to travel the world, you got to hang with all these like really prestigious people. And I think, yes, in the 70s and probably 80s, being a cheerleader was like that. I do think that you got like really special opportunities and maybe it was worth being on the team without being paid, but it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that people are like, oh, you were a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Like, we're going to hire you. Like, it's not like that anymore. Times have changed. And so to say that it's just an honorable thing, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right whenever people are like physically hurting their bodies to perform every night.
What's the career path for like why?
So why do it? You also sign a contract that you can't fraternize. How do you say that word? Fraternize?
Yeah, fraternize, I think.
With the football players. So like to me, if I was 23 and I'm going in because I'm going to meet a cowboy, like a football player and get married. Like that would be my only reason as a single 23-year-old of doing that. Because outside of that, you do get great girlfriends. Cool. So you have friends for life. It's like a sorority. Great. But like most of these people are not doing it in their young 20s. They're doing it once they graduate from college. Not everyone, but a lot of them are, it's like, okay, that's not the time to make friends and party. That's the time to start working and establishing your future, in my opinion.
I know that's kind of what, like, it's the same thing with like pageant people. It's kind of like, what's the trajectory? Like, even if you win, where do you go? I think if you win Miss America, it's different. But like,
if you win that, like that is a very, like, that's a nationwide / worldwide competition. I do feel like that's a little different than being, you're one of 50 girls. No, I'm sorry. I think they chose like 37, 38.
But yeah, so that's, I guess that's what I'm asking is like, where do you go after you become?
That's the thing is they go back to living, they're a nurse again.
Huh.
And they have to, here's another thing. They have to try out every year. So you're not even guaranteed. If you've been on the team for 4 years, I think they have a 5-year max. I could be wrong, but that's what I kind of gathered from the show. And even if like you've made it 4 years, you're not guaranteed the 5th year. So every year you are like spending weeks, months out of your year to also re-audition for the team. That's a lot of energy, a lot of time, and you're not getting paid for any of that. The starting salary for the NFL water boy starts at $53,000, and the girls get paid $500 per game. And let me tell you, it costs $500 to get your hair highlighted. And they have to get their hair, like they have to look like that. They have to have the hairography, all the things.
This
like
sounds a little, dare I say, corrupt.
Yeah, here's the thing. I do love the Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders. So
How far
I don't
do you
want to say
take this
anything
fight?
too negative, because if y'all ever want me to judge or be a part of it, I will be there. And so like, I don't want to like say too many things where they're like, Dani's a hater of us.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I do love you. I think it's really cool. It is honorable, but it's just now I think times have changed. And I think that I just am a big supporter. Like, dude, you cannot tell me if these were male cheerleaders, they'd be getting paid. They get from the 70s, 80s, 90s, like they would have been getting way more. Like, it's just, this is sexism.
Yeah, so let me just help like, the New York Times or Washington Post with the headline here. Dani Austin calls for Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders to unionize, ... finally.
Can I be honest though?
A new era in football.
Can I tell you something though? This is what's so funny. I think if we had all the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders here in this room, and I'd be like, guys, like, don't you feel it? And they'd be like, no, we're just so happy to be here, because they're brainwashed, because they don't want to upset the establishment. So they're like, because to them, it is something that they've dreamt of being since a little girl.
Yeah.
So they will not do anything. They will not say anything to hurt their chances. So they just go along with it. Here's the one thing about me. I never could touch my toes. I was never good at dance. So I can be honest about these things, because I'm never going to make the team.
You know what I think we should do is I think we should definitely have Charlotte onto the podcast, and I think you guys should just talk this out. You can represent the working woman.
Have my people call her people.
You can represent the working woman and the advocate,
now if I
the
ever
feminist,
see her,
dare I say.
If I ever see her in public or like any of the Joneses, like, I'm going to run away with my tail between my legs and be like, I can't believe I said that on the podcast.
Honestly, maybe she would appreciate being challenged, or maybe you're wrong about some things that you don't understand.
That is totally true, because I do think about how much it costs to like run the establishment too. And a lot of these girls maybe are becoming famous off of the TV Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I don't think they're becoming famous just off of being cheerleaders. There's no way the reach would be there.
Yeah, on the Netflix shows, they're like reality TV
stars. No, on Netflix, I get it. But like before the Netflix show.
Oh, no, of course not. So you got to be like a famous character on these shows to get any type of gain from it.
Yeah.
For sure. I had a point.
I would be curious. Do you feel like the cheerleading scene of football has lost some of its luster since maybe like the 80s and 90s? Like, let's say that, I hate to say this, let's just say we discontinued football teams having cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Because, we're progressive and woke and we say this is demeaning. And we just say no more cheerleaders in football.
Like, would people still go to the games?
Yeah. I mean, like, what's it really doing for the actual experience?
People would still go to the games.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do think it was a very, very big deal, like 20
Yeah.
years ago.
That's what I would say, just to play devil's advocate on behalf of Charlotte.
What she's created is amazing.
What she's created is amazing. And I think that maybe like the reason she can't get more resources devoted to it is because it just is not that important anymore to the actual experience of going to a football game.
I was thinking that too. I was like, how much money are these girls actually bringing in? And so is being paid $500 a game, like, is that fair?
I honestly feel like, and I don't know, this could go so much deeper if we wanted to, but like, it's the same reason I think that like Hooters is like declining. It's like going out of business. Like they're shutting down all these.
Walgreens isn't doing well either. Neither is Nike.
Well, what I'm saying, do you get what I'm saying? It's like you used to be able to sell sex in that way. And I do not think it's working in the same way. I think that we progressed beyond that.
Oh, that's a good point, babe.
Like, I think it's a good thing is what I'm advocating for.
Let me think about that. Are we not able to sell sex in the same way?
I mean, male T counts are lower. It's just a fact.
Okay. I guess you're right. Yeah. People see through it now.
People see through it now.
We're too woke.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah. No, it's a great thing.
Like, I mean, I could never imagine taking my son to the establishment of Hooters. Like, I would never say, hey, this is like, no, I know. My dad took me too. I'm just saying, like, in this day and age, I would say, like, it wasn't like gross or wrong or anything like that, like that our dads took us. It was just like, it's just not the same. Like, I think anyone who is a millennial or Gen Z would be like, yeah, like that's for some reason not right. You know, it's like demeaning.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
It's good.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fact that like when I think of my dream career, and I'm not saying this to like come down on any dancers, because let's be honest, if I was a good dancer and I was flexible, I probably wouldn't be making this statement, but it just was never in the cards for me. But I like the fact that like when I was a little girl and I thought of like my dream job, it was like a doctor, a lawyer, like a CEO. Like it was like, I feel like girls were dreaming big.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So I think things have changed.
Yeah. Dream bigger.
Although
Girlies.
it would be really fun to put those little costumes are so cute. It'd be so fun. Flip your hair around.